Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's start with question number 3. So over here what we'll do, first of all, we'll rearrange this quadratic equation, and we can write it like x square plus 5x minus 36 is less than 0. Okay, so we rearranged it. Now we'll find zeros of this quadratic equation. We'll find the intervals in the real line, and then we'll find that particular interval in which this quadratic equation has value less than 0. So zeros for this quadratic equations are, so now x square, so we'll split this middle term. Product over here is negative of 36, right? And sum over here is 5. So we have plus of 9x and minus of 4x minus of 36 is less than 0. So factors over here are x plus of 9, and if we take minus 4 common, we get x plus of 9 less than 0. So x plus 9 and x minus 4 are the factors of this quadratic equation, and from here we get x is equal to negative 9 and x is equal to 4 as our zeros. So when we split this real line into 3 intervals, what we get is negative 9 and 4. Now we want an interval which gives us value less than 0. So if we substitute any value from this interval, we get negative 10 plus of 9, negative 10 minus of 4. So what we get is negative 1 and negative of 14. This gives us 14, which is greater than 0. So we'll not take this interval. We take 0 from here, we get 0 plus of 9 and 0 minus of 4. And if we simplify it, we get negative of 36. Yes, this is the interval that we'll take. And if we check last interval, x is equal to 5 if we take, so 5 plus 9, 5 minus 4. So from here what we get is 14 and plus of 1. So we get 14, which is greater than 0. So we'll not take this interval as well. So for less than 0, the interval that we are getting is negative 9 is less than x is less than 4. So this is the interval. Alright, let's move forward. We'll again simplify this quadratic equation first of all. So let's take 15x to the right hand side. We get x square plus 56 minus 15x is greater than 0. So if we write it properly, we get x square minus 15x plus of 56 is greater than 0, right? So this is 56. So product as 56, sum is 15. So we get x square minus 8x minus 7x plus 56 is greater than 0. So if we take x common over here, we get x minus of 8 and minus 7x minus of 8 is greater than 0. X minus 8 and x minus 7 are two factors of this quadratic equation, and we get 7 and 8 as our zeros. So this real line gets split into 3 intervals. If we check for x is less than 7, we take x is equal to 0 and substitute it over here in this equation. So negative 8 times negative 7 is actually 56, which is greater than 0. Yes, this interval satisfies our quadratic equation inequality. And if we take value from this interval, let's check for 7.5. So 7.5 minus 8 and 7.5 minus 7. So we get negative 0.5 and positive 0.5. So this is actually negative 0.25, which is less than 0. So I'll not take this interval 7 and 8. We check for greater than 8. If we take 10, so 10 minus 8 and 10 minus of 7. So we get 2 times 3, which is 6, and it is greater than 0. So yes, since we require values which are greater than 0, so the intervals that we'll take is x is less than 7 or x is greater than 8. Alright, I hope it is clear. First of all, we'll multiply x with this equation over here. We get x square plus 10x, and let's bring whatever which is in the right hand side to the left hand side. So plus of x minus of 12 is less than equal to 0. We get x square plus 11x minus of 12 is less than equal to 0, right? And product is negative 12, sum is 11. So x square minus x plus 12x minus 12 is less than equal to 0. We take x common, x minus of 1, and we take 12 common, x minus of 1 is less than equal to 0. So x minus 1 and x plus 12 is less than equal to 0. So from here, the zeros of this quadratic equation are actually when x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 12. So these zeros break this real line into three intervals. So negative 12 and 1. So we'll check these three intervals, for which interval we are getting value of this quadratic equation less than or equal to 0. So equal to 0 will be at these zeros, but we need the interval at which it is less than 0. So let's check. If we take negative 13, next is equal to negative 13. If we substitute it, we get negative 13 minus of 1 and negative 13 plus of 12. So we get negative 14 times negative 1. So it's 14. It is greater than 0. So we don't require this interval. We check it over here. We take x is equal to 0. So 0 minus 1 and plus of 12. So we get negative of 12. Yes, this is less than 0. We check for third interval. X is equal to 2. We substitute it. 2 minus 1 and 2 plus of 12. So 1 times 14. This is 14 and this is greater than 0. So no, we will not take this interval. So interval that we are taking is negative 12 is less than equal to x is less than equal to 1. So this is the interval which gives the quadratic equation value which is less than or equal to 0. Alright. So equal to 0 at negative 12 and 1, and less than when it is between negative 12 and 1. I hope it is clear. Let's first of all simplify it. So x square plus 4x is less than 3x plus of 6. So let's bring whatever is in the right hand side to the left hand side. X square plus 4x minus 3x minus of 6 is less than 0. X square plus of x minus 6 is less than 0. So product is negative 6 and sum is 1. So x square plus 3x minus 2x minus 6 is less than 0. So if we take common, x plus of 3 and minus 2, x plus of 3 is less than 0. So x plus 3, x minus 2 is less than 0. So factors over here are when x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 2. So real line is divided into three intervals, negative 3 and 2. And what we require is that this quadratic equation should be less than 0. So values for that are, so if we check that, we take negative 4. So negative 4 plus of 3 and negative 4, negative 2. So what I get is negative 1 and negative 6. So 6, which is greater than 0. So I will not take this interval. If I take x is equal to 0 from here, so 3 times negative 2, negative of 6, yes, less than 0. If I take x is equal to 3, and if I substitute it over here, so 3 plus of 3 and 3 minus of 2, so 6 times 1, so 6 is greater than 0, so we'll not take this interval as well. So interval that we are selecting is negative 3 is less than x is less than 2. So this is our interval. Alright, let's move forward. Let's simplify this first. So x minus x square plus 3 minus of 3x is less than x minus 1. Let's bring this to the left hand side. We get negative x square and negative of 3x and plus of 4 is less than 0. We can take negative 1 common. So x square plus 3x minus of 4 is less than 0. If we multiply both sides with negative 1, the sign of inequality will change. We get x square plus 3x and minus of 4 is greater than 0. Alright, so this is what we are getting. Now let's form factors of this quadratic equation. So product as negative 4, sum is 3. So x square plus 4x minus 4 is greater than 0. X plus of 4 and minus 1, x plus of 4 is greater than 0. So x plus 4 and x minus 1 are the two factors of this quadratic equation. And zeros over here are when x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to 1. So real line is divided into three parts. Negative 4 and 1 are the zeros. So if we check the intervals, so if we take x is equal to negative 5, if I substitute that, what I get is negative 5 plus of 4, negative 5 minus 1. So negative 1 and negative 6. This gives us a positive value, which is 6, which is greater than 0. So yes, we'll take this interval. So if we check this interval, x is equal to 0. So 4 times negative 1 gives us negative 4, which is less than 0. So we will not take this interval. So if we check third interval, if we take x is equal to 2, if we substitute it, we get 2 plus of 4 and 2 minus of 1. So 6 and 1, we get 6, which is greater than 0. So yes, we'll take this interval as well. So the interval that we are taking are when x is less than negative 4 or when x is greater than 1. Alright, so these two intervals satisfy this inequality over here. Right, let's move forward. Let's multiply it. What we get is 12x square minus 4x minus 9x and plus 9x and minus of 3 is less than 2x square and plus of 6x. Right, let's bring everything to the left hand side. We get 12x square minus 2x square and plus 5x minus 6x minus 3 is less than 0. So we simplify it, we get 10x square minus x minus 3 is less than 0. Right, now product over here is 30 and sum over here is negative 1. So if we try and simplify it, we get 10x square minus 6x plus 5x minus 3 is less than 0. We take 2x common, we get 5x minus 3, and if we take 1 common, 5x minus 3 is less than 0. 5x minus 3 and 2x plus 1 is less than 0. So factors are these and zeros are x is equal to 3 by 5 and x is equal to negative 1 over 2. So these are the two zeros. Right, now these two zeros divide the real line into three parts when x is negative 1 by 2 and when x is 3 by 5. So if I check, what I want is value of this quadratic equation should be less than 0. So if I check over here, I take x is equal to -1. If I substitute that in this equation, what I get is -5 minus of 3 times -2 plus of 1. So I get -8 times -1. The value that I'm getting is actually 8, which is greater than 0. So I'll not take this interval. Now if I choose x is equal to 0, what I get is -3 and plus of 1, which is -3. So -3 is less than 0. So yes, I will take this interval. If I check last, I take x is equal to 1. If I substitute it, what I get is 5 minus of 3 and 2 plus of 1. So 2 times 3, what I get is 6. 6 is greater than 0. I will not take this interval. The interval that I am taking is when -1 by 2 is less than x is less than 3 by 5. So this is the interval that I will take. And all the values of this interval satisfy this inequality. I hope it is clear. Alright. First of all, we'll open this whole square. We get x square plus 8x and plus of 16 minus 25 is greater than 0. So if we simplify it, we get x square plus 8x minus of 9 is greater than or equal to 0. So let's form factors over here. Product is -9, sum is 8. So x square plus 9x minus x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 0. I take x common, x plus of 9 minus 1 common, x plus of 9 is greater than or equal to 0. So x plus 9 and x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, right? So zeros over here are when x is equal to -9 and when x is equal to 1. So these are the two zeros. Now the real line is divided into three parts, -9 and 1. So we check for which the quadratic equation is having a greater positive value greater than 0. So let's take when x is equal to -10. If we substitute it, we get -10 plus of 9 and -10 minus 1. So we get -1 times -11, that is 11. So it is greater than 0. Yes, we'll take this interval. And if we take x is equal to 0, so 9 times -1, -9 less than 0, will not take this interval. If we take x is equal to 2, so 2 plus 9 and 2 minus 1, so 11 times 1, 11, which is greater than 0. Yes, we'll take this interval. So it's we have equality as well. So the interval that is satisfying our result are when x is less than or equal to -9 or when x is greater than or equal to 1. So these are the two intervals. I hope it is clear. Let's open this whole square. We get x square minus of 4x plus of 4 is greater than 14 minus x. X square minus 4x plus of x plus 4 minus 14 is greater than 0. We get x square minus 3x and minus of 10 is greater than 0. So if we form factors, we get x square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 is greater than 0. Let's take x common, x minus of 5, and let's take 2 common, x minus of 5 is greater than 0. So x minus 5 and x plus 2 are the two factors of this quadratic equation. So zeros are when x is equal to 5 and x is equal to -2. So these are the two zeros of this quadratic equation. Now these two zeros break the real line into three parts, -2 and 5. So we want that particular interval which makes this quadratic equation greater than 0. So if we substitute x is equal to -3 from first interval, we get -3, -5, -3 plus of 2. So -8 times -1. So what we get is 9. And yes, it is greater than 0. So we'll take this interval. If we check the second interval, we take x is equal to 0. So -5 times 2, it becomes -10, which is less than 0. So we'll not take this interval. If we check third interval, we take x is equal to 6. So 6 minus 5 and 6 plus of 2. So we get 1 times 8. So 8 is greater than 0. Yes, we'll take this interval as well. So we take x is less than -2 and uh, this interval, or when x is greater than 5. So these are the two intervals that we take. Alright, as simplified, we get 6x squared plus 6x is less than 35 minus 5x. Let's bring everything to the left hand side. 6x squared plus 6x plus 5x minus 35 is less than 0. 6x squared plus 11x minus 35 is less than 0, right? If we multiply 35 to 6, what we get is 210. Product for this quadratic equation is equal to negative of 210 and sum is 11. So if we split this middle term, we get 6x squared and plus of 21x minus 10x minus of 35 is less than 0. If we take common, 3x, 2x plus 7 and minus of 5, it's 2x plus of 7 is less than 0. So 2x plus 7 and 3x minus 5 is less than 0. So the zeros of this quadratic equation are when x is equal to -7 by 2 and when x is equal to 5 by 3. So these two zeros split this real line into three parts, -7 by 2 and 5 by 3. So if we check this interval, we want its value to be less than 0. So let's take one value, which is negative of 4. So if we substitute it, what we get is -8 plus of 7 and -12 minus 5. So both the values of negative, so that will be greater than 0. So what we are getting is -1 and negative of 17. So it is 17 which is greater than 0, right? If we take one value over here, we take x is equal to 0, we substitute it, we get 7 times minus 5. Yes, it's minus 35 and less than 0. If we take one value from here, we take 2. So we substitute it, we get 4 plus of 7 and 6 minus of 5. So it's 11 times 1. So it's greater than 0 and will not take this interval. The interval that we are taking is when -7 by 2 is less than x is less than 5 by 3. I hope it is clear. I think that's enough for today's lecture. Thanks for joining. We'll meet in next.